Hello? Okay, let's see. Hey, here we are. Okay, we have a bit too much room. Shut up. Okay, this is a bit better. We had a bit of reverb. Hello, everybody. Let's see if the live streaming is working here. I'm checking this on the right side. Yeah, we have a screen. I can shut down this one. And we see Bluetooth. Hello, everybody. Nice sound from Bluetooth. Yeah, that was a nice amount of reverb, isn't it? Yeah, that was, of course, a little joke. I was testing some things and I noticed that the reverb was still active. And it's quite a big hole. You hear a bit of reverse. Okay. So it sounds like a big cathedral. Very nice. And then the reverse does a little thing extra to it. But of course, it's about Bluetooth today. And yeah, cool guys that you join. And some movies with that. Yes, indeed. You could do some. Yeah, well, the reverb has some nice features. If my voice is not so nice, I'm not a singer, but I could say here ensemble to make a bit of chorus. Here's a bit of chorus inside my voice. I'm not singing. That's a very nice effect. So chorus makes it a bit swirly. Can make the speed a bit less. Okay, I'm abstracted, guys. Let's go back to Bluetooth. Of course, we have in Bluetooth also very nice reverb, which is inside this one. And if you play this preset without the FX, you notice that the FX has quite some impact on the sound. This is a very nice sound called Cal Falfel Pat Jamal. I'm not sure if it's a pad sound, but it's very nice. I play it more solo. You see the keyboard in the upper corner. Very nice sound. And if you put pipe, go to the FX section that's up here, you see 4 FX, and also the FX can be modulated, by the way. Down here below each FX you can also pick control, for instance, to control the sound. And well, that's something that Jamal does a lot. You see here he uses the vector Y movement, which is here. He uses to control the ensemble. So let's put off all the FX, so and bypass all. It's up here. So you see, this sound is really made up by using the FX. So bypass all, I shut it down, and then you hear. So yeah, you see you have quite some options inside Bluetooth in terms of controlling the FX, and there's also this high quality reverb on board. And so up here is where you select the FX section. what maybe is nice to tell is that, or wise to tell, you have a bank manager here, and Bluetooth still uses the older bank system. Originally, you had with VST a bank, and a bank could contain 128 presets. So let me see if I can show you this. You have... One second, I need to check that here. Bluetooth. So this is of course on a PC, but you see that here the banks are one file, which is FXB extension. And one bank can have a max of 128 presets. Now, in most recent products, we left this system because most other brands also simply save one single file for one preset instead of using this bank system. So maybe you are a bit confused if you mix the instruments of us, Bluetooth, punch, bass drum, and blade are still use this system, these instruments. So if you go here to digital basses, number 2, number 1 is fully packed. You can see all kind of, but it's just one bank with 128 presets. And here I could say, okay, copy this preset, and then I could set this one in digital bass 2, and I need to pick a default, an empty spot, and press down here the paste. Then you see, then it's this preset now in this bank, but I need to save this bank here, save bank. Otherwise, if you go to back to the other one, it's gone. You need to save the bank. So also if you added a preset inside this bank and stay in this bank, so if I could start here with the first preset and I do some editing here, let's do, okay, go to the next preset, do some editing, okay. Now, when I go back to the first preset, you will notice that the edited sound is still there. So it does memorize it inside the whole bank. So be careful with that. If you added a lot or inside the bank and then save it, the bank is that then you save all the presets you did edit inside of it. So of course you can make your own bank here. And then copy over the presets you like, or save the preset, or just simply go to this own bank you have. So if I would say here an example, okay, I go down here, default, I could say, okay, this preset, okay, let's do an example. Let's say you did edit one of the Jomel presets, this one. Okay, and then you could say save preset, and then it saves it as a single preset. So here you save it as a single preset, 1 second. And then you give it, of course, an own name. Okay, save. You see, it changes also here in this bank, but if I go here back to this bank, it's gone. But I have it as a single preset because that's a different folder. So if you have here your own bank, now in this case it's called default, you can say load and then load this single preset. So that was own name. So then you have your own name in this bank, and then again you need to save the bank. So it's a bit like in the hardware area that this works. Maybe I should do a little tutorial about it, because sometimes people are confused, especially because we do, with the newer updates, we all have the presets as a single file instead of using the bank system. Once you understand it, it's easy, but yeah, you just need to know it. And it happens to be the case that people have not that much time these days, so yeah, maybe it's a good idea that I make still a video about it, how to work fast with Bluetooth if you want to make your own bank, or if you want to save your own presets, and what the best thing is to do. Okay, so here you can see, for instance, Pad 3 is the official pad, and once I start making new presets, I save them the bank again as version B. So in the next update from Bluetooth, you would have two different new presets, which are called Prisma Pad 1 and Prisma Pad 2. Most likely these are pads which are used in Prisma, but which were also nice to use as a single preset. So, and then you see I make version B banks to add new presets. That's the way I work. And essentially, I think here the introduction bank, version B, well, the introduction bank is fully loaded. I can see why it's the 128 preset, so that one is already full, this bank. But you see each bank has 128 presets. And of course you might think, okay, Rob, I saw your other video about GoTo and Vecto and Predator 2 with this nice bank system where you can add a star to it, and that's a bit different system. And of course, once we release Blue 3, it will have also the same system. But currently, this still uses the older bank system. Still, you have the great sound, so it doesn't make the product bad. It's only a different system. Yeah, banks can be confusing. It's a very old, or essentially it's the original VST system. You had FXP, stands for preset, FXP, and FXB, B for bank. That was the original system. And it came over from the hardware, and of course also with MIDI program change, because with MIDI program change you only can have 128 presets in one bank. So it's a hardware thing, but it's more comfortable to work with single files for each preset. That's a bit better to handle. So what you also see, maybe I told that already, is that these on the right side you always can see the volume envelope, and this is a reason for it, because this attack, decay, sustain, and release you use very often to tweak the sound. So for instance, if you have this sound, you maybe think, okay, it's a bit should be slower. Then you can make it very fast. Or you say a bit longer release. So therefore we place this right side always visible. Or for instance, if you would say, okay, I go here from play mode to a sequencer or the arpeggiator, of course I need to check if something is active in the arpeggiator. Doesn't sound very active here, so maybe I should do a right mouse. You see in right mouse menu or control click, you can see default, and then it's more LCD type. So that's the reason why we have this play mode also always visible. So if you would go, for instance, to a sequencer sound bank, with Kraftwerk sound, and you can say, okay, I don't want to use a sequencer. Sequencer is here, but I want to have this sound polyphonic. You always can switch it here. No matter where you are, if you're on the bank manager, you still can change it. Or poly. Of course, in this sequencer, there's wave sequencing used, Dolce Vita. So here's a sequencer, and you can see down here you have a normal screen and a wave screen. Yeah, it's very deep. Bluetooth has a very deep synthesizer with a lot of features. So it's really for the very happy people who like to tweak a lot. You see, this sequence has 2 pages. The normal page where you can change the tuning. Essentially, this is a sequencer with the tuning, velocity, slide. You can control still the filter here, and the free row is active. And with wave, you can make it the case that on different steps you have a different wave form. So here, you see in the oscillator A, once it is set, it uses the original waveform, but then it goes in step 5 to another sound. So yeah, so the sequencer is separate from the arpeggiator. For instance, in the newer version of Go2, you have the arpeggiator, but you can use it in a sequencer mode. So there we use it a bit different. Yeah, Bluetooth is very modern, very deep, has a lot of hidden features, and yeah, for instance, here this multi-envelope presets you can have 8 sections multi-envelope you can use for FM synthesis. You can see the curve you can change. It's a very deep machine. But okay, I'm going now to the chat room to see if any questions pop up. Yeah, banks are indeed old school. Yeah. But as mentioned, maybe it takes a few minutes for me to make a tutorial, very fast tutorial to tell them how to work with presets and banks with Bluetooth, just like I did with the Predator 2 as a video about presets and banks. Go2, Raw Kick, for instance. Well, and then somebody asked, did the recent version, is there any need for it? Yeah, well, there's only a need for the early version if you use the early version and made music and songs with it. So if you load an older song, which uses Sub-Boom Base 1, yeah, then it's very handy if it still loads Sub-Boom Base 1. So that's the reason why we still keep these available, and we also update them to keep them running. So yeah, for instance, people who use Bluetooth now very often already started with the original Blue 1.9. So if they then load up an older song, they still need to be able to load the older Blue 1. So that's still possible. The older Blue 1.9, Predator 1.6, and Sub-Boom Base 1.1 still can be installed. So, and what we also did then in the Bluetooth download page, you can scroll down, and there you can find also the installer for Blue 1.9, and you can use the Bluetooth serial number to install it. So that's especially for older songs if you created them. But apart from that, there's no reason to use them, because the newer versions are, of course, having far more features and of course, an upgrade to the original one. Okay. So I was talking about the play mode, which is here, and then we have, of course, some other stuff. The unison is here. Also the chord mode, and the chord mode is a very nice feature. In Predator 2, we did it a bit different again, but let me show you how we did this in Bluetooth. We have a bank which is called clusters. It's very nice, very spacey. You see, I hit one note, but a whole chord is playing. And sometimes people say, okay, where my voices are gone or the CPU spikes a bit with some of the presets, then most of the time a chord is playing, chord mode. It's here, see, you see play in the lower right corner. Maybe I should make the screen a bit bigger. Let's give me a second, guys. Let me see if I can succeed with that. Maybe I can still make it a bit bigger. Yep. So let's see if... Okay, I need to go a bit more to the right. Then everything should be fine. Yeah, about the older versions, one thing what comes to mind is that with Predator 2, we don't have a Predator 2 FX. So if you like using the Predator as an FX, you still need to install Predator 1.6, and this installs also Predator 1.6 FX. Then you can use the input, you put it on an audio track, and the input goes into the filter of Predator 1.6 and to the 3FX from it. And we did not do this in Predator 2 because Predator 2 is already overloaded with a lot of features. And we thought, yeah, that will be maybe a bit too much. And of course, in the meantime, we already have now some nice effect ranges. Okay, now back to the chord memory. You see down here, this is minor huge, it's called. So if I go here, it's a choir with some strings. This is a synth pad using 4 oscillators. You see 4 times square. And then the E is real strings because Bluetooth has traditional waveforms, but also a nice range of samples. And choirs on oscillator F. So this is a big preset. Well, and when we go here and we put off, then you have a single note. And by the way, this is of course also nice to play it as not in chord mode, but as a simple monophonic or polyphonic sound. So now it's off. And how do you record this? Well, it's very easy. You go here to learn, and then of course keep the middle C3 as a root key. So if I want to make here a, let's say a chord with 3 notes, let's press learn, first note. I let go. So, and then I go from learn to play, and I hit 1 note, and I do have. Of course, keep in mind I hit 1 note, but it plays for me the 4 other 1 notes. And then down here you have strum. And strum is like a guitar, so each note they come a bit later. So when I go fully to the right, all the notes which are memorized come later. Okay, let's make the attack short. The desync button makes it tempo sync. Okay, so if I would have a beat now, let's see if I have a beat. Okay. Excuse me, there's a bit too much playing now. Only have a beat from punch. See, it's MIDI time based. If you look here, the strum time, you need to look in the upper section. Here's the readout that displays the value of the parameter. And if you look up, you see it's 1/4 triple note. So I can sync it to 1/8 note. Okay, let's play the beat again. Yeah, there's a bit of delay on the beat. So the strumming, yeah, you can make a MIDI time base, and the chord memory makes that you have a different feel for the sound. So there are some presets inside of it here. Even with FM synthesis. So let's play this out normal, this FM synthesis. By the way, nice sounds. I like it. So I could make it a new one, learn. I believe it can record up to 8 notes. Let's see what happens. Play. So yeah, it's Bluetooth is way powerful. And so even with this chord mode, you can do some magic stuff. I mean, if you do music for games or something like that, there is your sound. So, well, this is from the cluster bank. So this is the chord mode. So let's see what the chat is saying. Okay, let's see if I have a bit more of the... Now this one uses the strumming. Of course, if the strum is fully to the left, it plays all the notes at the same time. So with pad sounds, it's always wise to open a bit the strumming so that the notes play after each other. So I can... Some chord note presets, yeah, that will be indeed an interesting idea. I believe that with what we did, and that you can expect most likely with Blue 3 in the future, is what we did with Predator 2. So let's see where I can find Predator 2. Or is it? You see, with Predator 2, we did it a bit different. Predator 2 also has this chord, which you can see here, up to 8 notes. But you see, the moment I hit 4, you see that this is the chord advanced panel. And here you can address the pitch yourself just by oh no, this is the root key, sorry. This is the second note. Here you can address it and even pan it left, right. And if you go to this little label here, chord, you can see save chord preset. And no presets on board. I should have saved a few presets, of course, diminish, minor. So in Predator 2 we did it a bit different. So there you don't have to play it. There you simply construct it by using this semi. It's a bass sound. Okay, I'm just reading the chat. Automated and cycle through the chord modes. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would work out because you need to time it precise. And of course, yeah, keep in mind if you have something like this. Yeah, another option is simply to play it yourself. But of course, it's a different way. You do different stuff by using the chord memory. So Yeah, what somebody suggested in the chat is to have then here chords as a kind of default setting. That will be also an idea, and that you can go from one to another. Although it will be quite some interesting work. Yeah, it's Bluetooth is a very deep synthesizer because it combines essentially the FM synthesis, what you hear now. This is, if I'm not wrong, FM synthesis, but still with a glass sample. This is FM and added a glass sample. Yeah, and of course it has some very nice pads here in the pad sound. A friend of mine is a composer, and his name is Theo Burles, and this is one of his favorite string sounds, which is actually it's a combination of real strings together with, you see here, 4 oscillators doing a synth wave form. Let's see if I can play something. I like it also spacey, so I increase the attack and release. With a wrong note. That was a wrong note. But you see, therefore we added here this attack and release where you can really change it. I believe that in this preset, when I click here original, it's already again the original preset. Let me check again. I think this one is called modulation wheel pitch band, and that this changes the changes the time of it. So, but essentially the what you can hear in this preset is the real strings. Is a classic real violence multi-sample. And then the other part are 4 oscillators doing a pulse width modulation square waveform, which I'm making. You see, it's very soft, but just in combination with the real strings, it just adds a bit more body. So indeed, for film score kind of material, this is very nice. Let's see if I have another one. This uses the XY pad. And people who know Vector will recognize this, of course. Here in Vector synth mode, it uses A, B, and C and D. So it goes from one oscillator to the other oscillator. Can do it also manually, live. So A is a metal sound, choir, noise, and a synth pad. And of course you can record this, play it back, and you see you can make it also visible here with, by controlling it. Edit position on, okay, that's down here. Of course I wanted to have it as a circle, set to circle. So Vecto is also based on the Bluetooth concept. Only Vecto is a bit more easier to use because it doesn't have this deep combination of synthesis. That's why I call the Blue originally cross-fusion synthesis, because you can, therefore it also has 6 oscillators. You can do subtractive, it has 2 very good filters, but you also can do FM synthesis, and there's a nice range of samples on board which you also combine. So it really combines several things together, making it really unique. And then of course is this XY, which can be used to modulate and make some dynamic sounds. Okay, let's see if I have more. Here the synthesis is combined with a Synthfox. So, and the introduction bank, by the way, is a very good example in terms of what the synthesis is of this synthesizer. For instance, here we have Fifth Element. This is originally a Blue 1.9 preset. So this one I explained more. So if we go to the algorithm here, see A and B go out, and in this case the A and B go to filter A. So they do this synth sound. And then the other oscillators, C, D, E, and F, you see they are connected to each other. They have an FM setup. And you see FM synthesis is not so easy to control. I click here on original, and this really shows this sound called Fifth Element really shows the power of Bluetooth. It combines the nice cool thing about subtractive together with FM synthesis. And then this is a Blue 1.9 preset. When I go to the bank manager, I can also go to Boyle. I need to find it. Okay, give me 1 second. Maybe 2 seconds. Here it is. Fifth Element. So this was Fifth Element was preset 22. Then there is Fifth Element Boyle, and that one combines this sound you just heard with the Bluetooth range of samples on board. So you see oscillator C is also used in this one. And you see here the arrangement is a bit different because I had to have the third oscillator also available to an output. So you see here there's a matrix, and you can use algorithms. The matrix is now used to have out for A, B, and C, and D, E, and F still do this FM thing. Well, this is somebody's asking, is there an option Bluetooth to connect between oscillators for? Yeah, this is essentially manually this FM matrix. So so here you see that D goes 100% to E, and E goes Let's see. Again, 100%. So D modulates E and goes to F. Let's see. I need to check this out also myself. And F goes out. So let's put F. So A, you see A goes anyhow out. B goes to an out. And C goes to an out. And okay, and you need to go from left to right. So E modulates D. F modulates E and goes out. So here is oscillator E modulating F. So this is again this FM amount. So these three oscillators are used for FM synthesis, and this one is a sample. It's this Boyle, this metal Boyle I did sample, and the other two are this synth sound again. So essentially you have inside Bluetooth, you have a layer of three types of, essentially two types of synthesis. Subtractive by the waveforms here, and the sample, and the rest is FM synthesis. And this you can combine together. That makes Blue very powerful. So this is combined with this ball. So if I put the ball, then you have again this fifth element. So this is in the introduction bank. You could check this out yourself. I believe in fifth element Vox I should be also somewhere, but I'm not sure if that one is. I need to check that where this other preset is. No, cannot find it yet. Yeah, FM synthesis. This is a very nice Koto by Jamal. My keyboard is clicking. So as you can see, a very nice preset. And this one uses, you see, 6 oscillators, all are sinus waveform. This is pure FM synthesis. But still, he throws the oscillator F into a filter, and high pass filter to cut off the low end. And yeah, as you can see, you can even make it, he uses here a bit of effects. You could make even the reverb maybe a bit overdone, so that's really a somebody playing in the mountains, you know. Brilliant preset by Jamal. Oops, this is the back panel, by the way. You can see we have a power cord here. It switches from 110 volt to 220 volt automatically, so don't worry about having the wrong power voltage. It's done in the software. Okay, let's back to the main panel. So you see, yeah, in terms of synthesis, Bluetooth is really synth heaven. Okay, I'm checking for the chat room. Okay, let's see if I have more presets. So this one, yeah, for instance, this preset is just to show you how versatile it is. This is called Han Solo. Maybe you see this this movie. It's called Star Wars, I believe. I'm not sure about it, but it's and he made also a nice solo, and so Han Solo. and solo. Yeah, you see, two oscillators use a very nice filter. It's a very if they would put me down on a island, I probably would pick Bluetooth because you can go any direction. It's of course not as fast programmed as some of the other synthesizers we have because you have so many pages and options. Yeah, this is called W piano or W piano, which is also FM synthesis. My playing is a bit error today. Phaser on it. So this one doesn't have any sample, it's all FM synthesis. And of course, some people did ask me a few times, well, would it be cool if it could load DX7 presets, but I must say I totally ignored that, or not ignored that. We did build it up according to our own vision, so it would not work out, I think. And then of course I'm more the guy who is seeking new direction, new sounds, instead of using something which is already done. Okay, so back to the manager. So I'm still in the introduction bank to show how nice it is. This is also a sound combines FM, but then with a choir. You see, of oscillator F, Vox. Typically a FM sound, of course, but it can see if we have some other. See, this one uses the XY, I believe. Although I don't see anything move. And of course it can do some great basses. This is a fretless bass type of sound. Also again, FM synthesis. Of course it uses the portamento, which is up here. Hold time, which means if I play more staccato, there's no glide. If I play legato, the glide kicks in. Can you create a very fat and detuned synth bass? More drum and bass type stuff, I think is what you mean. Yeah, well, we have some good drum and bass type sounds. Let me see. I need to look it up. That's not really the sound we're looking for. I played today one which was very... this one uses also in the FX section, here FX distortion bypass. You see, there's a lot of distortion going on. So now I'm changing the tone, but I could pick there the MIDI modulation wheel, FX tone. I'm not sure if this is fully the sound you were thinking. There are many presets on board. You could check it out. This had a lot of Okay, let's see. So the distortions really some very especially in the drum and bass session bank, there's a lot of distorted material. Yeah, there's so much on board. I think with Blue 2, I'm not sure how many presets there are, but I think it's over 4,000. So check this out, this drum and bass session bank, 16 drum and bass session banks. Yeah, here there are some nice I had also another bank. Let's see where it was again. I'm looking down here to find it. Yeah, you see various music styles. It's yeah, there's a percussion sound. I believe that in CSI Miami or CSI something, they use this muted guitar as a groove. And a few years ago, somebody told me that we made the music for CSI something. I don't know which it was. Let's see where the guitar kind of groove this was. And this one again, it's not a sample. This is really FM synthesis combining with the Seacon. And of course, if you have a beat, it stays nice in the groove. Ooh. And in the sequence, and now it does re-trigger. But if I'm not wrong, I also could make the re-trigger is now on and then off. Then I could, the sequencer keeps on running. See all these little features, so sometimes people think, oh, it's irritating. The sequencer re-triggers each time it starts on step 1 if I play a new note. Yeah, well, you simply can put it off here inside the edit screen. Of course, I understand there's a lot of features inside of it, but yeah. Okay, guys, is there anybody having maybe a question? Because I'm playing and having fun. And by the way, maybe as a thing to mention, we had planned to have a update of RP delay. And here we have RP delay in its 150% version. We are almost there. We had a bit of delay, but we have done RP delay with some bug fixes, but also you can have 100% screen size, 150% screen, and even 200%. Currently I'm using 150%, and there are some little changes. You see here something is black out. It means that this delay is inactive, and I click here, it becomes active, of course. For instance, if you use equal for left right, it means that the feedback is equal. So even if you have uneven settings, the feedback makes that left and right fades out the same. Of course, with equal and cross, that would never be combined. You would have an endless loop. So the cross feed is then gone. If I put on the equal, the cross feed gets active here. So yeah, and what we also did, if you have here a different algorithm like mono delay, so simple mono delay, you see here you have a mix, but you see then this out mix also moves, because the out mix is essentially the mix, the main mix are the output between the original signal and the wet signal. But the wet signals can be in total, of course, 6 delays. And but if you use only one mono delay, then the mix are combined, you see. So, but I make very soon a good tutorial, because RP delay is a very deep delay. Many people use it because simply there are some great presets on board. So if you put this, indeed, what I just had on the drum loop, already sounds nice. You have entered, let's say, grooves, insert. You see a lot of dry, some interesting features. So this one has 3 delays in the first delay row. This uses a sequencer. So talking about an insane delay, you can do so much cool stuff, but it needs to be explained. And what confused me sometimes also was that the outmix is the very end. You see up here in this little part here, outmix between all the delays and the original signal. So so if you see here, B is inactive, so now it uses only A, or it uses only one delay. But it has a filter behind it, and the filter behind it is controlled by this sequencer. Yeah, as you see, sometimes it doesn't have to be 6 delays to get a cool sound, because this sounds very nice. So dry, it would be like this. Okay, bypass here. Okay, so I'm a bit abstracted again, but next week this will be out, an update of RP delay. And by the way, RP delay also uses the bank system, so each bank has 128 presets only. There's no bank manager, but in general this doesn't cause any problems in terms of using. There are many presets on board which you can use. You can use the quick browser here. You see introduction bank for on an insert track, then FX Send bank. So if you use it in a FX Send setup, a bank for vocals, a bank for grooves, what I'm using now, diverse banks with really weird stuff, I think. Mono sequence. Jamal has some presets also. Let's see what he does to this. Filter Ghost, that's a nice one. Bypass. As said, many output delay is a very deep delay with a lot of features, but what we noticed that most simply pick one of the cool presets and use that in a track. It's simply very nice as an FX. Okay, so sorry for the sidetracking. Keep an eye next week. We're gonna release that one. What we're also gonna release is some new presets for Go 2, and inside Vecto some presets by JX3D, which is also in the chat room. So next week, JX3D, we will also release Vecto with your modular sound bank for Vecto. So some nice stuff coming next week, guys. Okay, so back to Bluetooth. The hour is already gone. And somebody said he posted a piece of this video on Instagram. Yeah, cool. Why not? The more people who join, the better it is, of course. And well, this live stream, if you missed it, you always can check it back in the playlist. You go to YouTube, playlist, and the playlist is called live stream, and you always can watch it again. And if all goes well, we will see you next week, guys. And thank you for watching. I would say keep well, everybody, and bye.